I thought it was great representation as the first woman of color in Marvel.
What's up, everybody? Trinity here. Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel, where today I am going to be getting into a spoiler discussion about She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Episode 1, A Normal Amount of Rage, with my good friend Chillmonger, as we do with all of these Disney Plus MCU series. If you don't know Chillmonger, there's some links down in the description of this video where you can go and check out his channel. He does 33 burning questions every single Saturday, and if you are not subscribed here on my channel, make sure you do that. Click the little bell notifications and make sure you click all so you get all those notifications anytime I have uploaded new videos or even do any live streams. Give this video a thumbs up as well. Give it a thumbs down if you don't like it, but that's okay. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Also, make sure you leave your comments down in the comments section. Let us know, what did you think about She-Hulk Attorney at Law Episode 1? Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on my good friend Chillmonger. Okay, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with my good friend Chillmonger. Chillmonger, how are you doing today?
Doing peachy on a warm day here in Toronto.
All right. So we're here to talk about She-Hulk, this first episode, A Normal Amount of Rage. And just starting off, what were your thoughts, your just initial thoughts about the episode?
My thoughts on it are, it was a good show. I was up on it. Fun, light, too short for my liking, but we'll get 9 of these. Yes, 9 episodes. I think that's we haven't had that many episodes since WandaVision. Yeah. I hope we'll see aerospace engineers in this one too. Maybe so. There might be that chance, because it seems like we're going to be getting a lot of cameos out of this series, from what it seems like. But what were you just say, like, your overall thoughts are on the episode, like, considering, like, you know, considering where we are in the MCU with these shows and how they've come in, where would you say this kind of ranks with all the episode number 1s? Kamala Khan had a good episode 1. Let's see. This is the 3rd best one, because the way Falcon and Winter Soldier ended with me, man, seeing John Walker, that was great. I will say that this is 3rd, next to Falcon, next to Kamala. Okay. All right. I think that's fair enough, because in my review I was kind of talking about that, and I was thinking about all of the number 1s. I'm like, I think a lot of the number 1s are pretty decent, as far as making me want to watch the next episode. I think if anything, this one, it was a good first episode. I don't know that it necessarily makes me want to watch the next episode, just because it felt a little janky. Just like everything kind of it felt a little clunky. And I think that's apparently because supposedly this is supposed to be like the 7th or 8th episode, not the first episode. But right. And I just recently learned that. And well, you mean the courtroom scene was supposed to be from the 7th episode? Right. But some of that earlier stuff in Mexico was actually episode number 1, of course, and the Sakaar ship. Yeah. It seems like, I don't know, in this first episode, I thought it was pretty good. It just seems like it fell a little short on making me, I guess, roping me in for more. I mean, we got the her origins here, which, you know, I talked a little bit about in my review as well, where, I mean, there's some plot convenience here, just like in the comic books. I feel like the comic books had a little bit more plot convenience than this show did. But what did you think about her getting her powers in the way that she did? Well, it tells you about limitations because of PG-13. I think blood is one of those things that break the what makes it an adult show. They didn't show us much blood. I would have loved like a close-up scene of the blood interacting and seeing other molecules and you know, show me that. They didn't. We kind of heard about it more than we did see it, and I'm down on that. But whatever, man. This is how she got her superpowers. It happened. It wasn't shown, but it happened. Right. Yeah, I think it kind of brushed through a lot of that. I mean, in this first episode, we got so much of just a lot of her and Bruce hanging out, where she's, I don't know, I guess, kind of learning to control her powers. But I guess that's something to be talked about, because it doesn't seem like she really learned, because she was already good at it already. Hold on a minute now. I know where you're going with it. Look, Bruce Banner and she are the only two to have this. Is she good at controlling it, or is Banner a troubled man with abuse history and more? And the answer to that question is yes. Comic book wise, yes. Bruce Banner went through it because of his relationship with his dad, his family, his whole upbringing. That has contributed to his mental freaking decombobulation. You know the decombobulation. That's a word.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of that he has. His cousin doesn't. I'd love for her to say, along with what she said about her female characteristics and her living experiences, she could have also said, I'm also not you, Bruce. I don't have anything inside me deeply that is being tormented. There is no other guy. Maybe because I'm my whole self. Maybe you need to look into yourself even further. Like you're the one who needed to go therapy session with the other guy, and you came out smart Hulk. But I don't need that because, unlike you, I am a mentally fit person.
Right. Yeah. I think there's
That didn't happen.
I think there's certainly something to be said about all that. And I mean, obviously, the presentation that they had there, obviously, kind of upsets a lot of people in the way that it's presented. And I think there's something big to that, because I do say that a lot about some things. It's not always necessarily what you're saying, but how you say it. And I think in the show where they kind of did that little scene there that everybody's talking about with, her talking about all she's been through and everything. I mean,
she said she's been catcalled.
yeah, I think a lot of that is, I don't see there's anything wrong with that, because like you're saying, he's been through a lot, the abuse and stuff like that.
What Trinity means, there's nothing wrong with mentioning you're being catcalled, not catcalling itself.
Right. Well, and the thing is, because I think a lot of this, like this show and what's going on, I mean, it's being told from a woman's perspective anyway. So I mean, I think there's certainly that to it, and even with like the scene there that they had where after she first got her powers, and even everything she kind of says, I mean, it's just experiences that she's gone through, and even like that, the whole scene there at the bar. I know a lot of people are talking about being cringe and all that stuff, and I think even Kendall said it in his live stream where he was doing, over at Normies to Nerds, where he's like, I think this kind of stuff happens, catcalling and all that stuff, dudes hitting on women at bars and maybe being a little too aggressive. I mean, I don't think that's out of the scope of things that I think are possible and imaginable, let alone the fact that people do go through different experiences that kind of, I guess get them experience in that way, having to deal with certain situations. So,
well, if she was 250 pounds with buck teeth and glasses and freaking frizzy hair that's not kept, and she was being hit on, that'd be unrealistic. The actress Tatiana.
Well, and I think even in that case, I mean, I still think that there's women out there, different strokes for different folks, I guess. But the likelihood of it, and having to deal with it on a more regular basis, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is science fiction, and I'm not it's not hard for me to believe that women are at night approached outside of the bars by jerks. The show was not anti-men; it was anti-jerk. For you to, I don't know, what do you call it when you live vicariously through that person, as like your avatar is every male in a TV show. You fix up, like grow up and shut up.
Right. Yeah, I think it's something a lot of people are making too big of a deal about, because like even I think Grace Randolph in her review of the episodes.
I don't want to mention another YouTuber. I wasn't on purpose. Now you're gonna say something that I don't co-sign. These are the words of Trinity. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. What it was, I guess she said something in her review about there being a little heavy-handed on the feminism, and I honestly didn't even really feel that. I just see what was going on here. I'm just like, I don't know. Everything here to me felt. I think there was a little bit of exaggeration, but I think everything here felt a little bit, I don't know, kind of normal, spot on for. Like I said, to me, it's nothing out of the ordinary. This seems just like normal situations and things people deal with. I didn't really see any hyper feminism in it, I guess.
This is different, but in the Ms. Marvel show, I noticed and that's a similarity, that they went really overboard trying to show you like her lineage, the culture, even religious aspects, and they kind of interfered with the show that was happening in Ms. Marvel. That, except in this situation, it would be, I guess, a woman empowering message. That has not been felt by me in episode 1. I am able to detect and also object to the overabundance and the teaching and the lessons that they're hammering at you, because I did it for 6 episodes of Ms. Marvel. So just I got some credibility or dignity when or integrity when I complain about something. I don't think this was heavy-handed or overt too much where it ruined the show. It was just Bruce Banner. Hey, I'm a woman, man. I control my anger all the time. And you know what?
Right.
It's a being who has a period once a month for 7 days, right? How long does it last, Trinity? I wouldn't know.
Right. Yeah. No,
As a
you're
joke.
right. Like it's a week.
Yeah,
It's a
it's like
week.
it's a whole week of just you're bleeding and sore and headaches and you need Advil, and it's like this. Maybe that person is more suitable to deal with an anger-induced situation than a male. I can accept that, and I don't feel lesser than or whatever. I didn't really need him to throw the big rock up into the atmosphere and show that he's stronger for me to go, oh, this feels so good. Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't even think it looked. It was too hard to figure out when he threw that first rock. He kind of threw it. It looked like he even threw it lightly, and then she picked up a rock, and it looked like she put some effort into it. So I mean, yeah, some of the stuff I don't think they need. Like that. It's just kind of silly, but yeah. Altogether, I mean, when it comes to that kind of stuff, I didn't think there was any kind of overemphasis on. I guess the feminism side of things. I don't know, but that's just me. That's just me. Because I think about, like even like my wife and some of the things she's told me about in her life and stuff like that. Just any of the other experiences, I'm like, it just like.
Do you mean she told you
normal.
after she watched the show, or do you mean like things she's told you throughout your marriage?
Just through our life, yeah, just our life together, just stuff we've kind of talked about and experiences growing up in school and things like that, dealing with other kids and all of that. So, like I said, to me, it seemed like pretty normal kind of status quo kind of stuff going on and being presented in the show.
I haven't
And
spoken to much women about it, but Ahsoka Tano fan, she does reviews of the show, and she like will watch it live and have her reaction as she's watching, and
mhm,
she was like nodding her head like, yeah, it's true, this happens, yep,
mhm.
I get it, and I'm like, oh, so she'll be like my only example of, yeah, sure, it happens, and I know it happens. We went through this with Captain Marvel, where the dude told her to smile, and oh my God, it's the end of the world, and I'm like, yeah, don't you guys remember the trailer and all the posters where it was, why isn't Carol Danvers smiling? Remember those? This is real. There's just expectations on women that are unfair, and it happens. And recognizing it in a movie is fine. Or a TV series is fine.
Right. Well, and I think even with me, like I don't even know that it's necessarily expectations of a woman necessarily, more so than maybe at least perceived expectations when it comes to those kinds of things. Because I mean, there's a lot of peer pressure around that kind of stuff. Like looks and what you're doing, and just like status within I guess society. But I understand what you're saying there with that for sure. Just kind of the pressure put on people, or that they feel is there to be good or be this or do that. Certainly, and I think that's where a lot of that kind of stuff comes from. Which I mean, even in like the example to say the same thing where they're at the bar there and those guys start hitting on her. Because even like Kendall was saying in his live stream where he was talking about the same thing. Like, you probably got that friend who's done that, or those friends or been there, seen that. Somebody kind of, I guess, not even really acting up, just being a little too aggressive, and you interject and just say, hey, buddy, just come on, like ease up, it'll be all right. Go take a cold shower, drink some water, have another
Hey,
beer.
there's the guys who stage it. Like, hey, I'll be the one who's just obnoxious. You come in, swoop in, and fight me off, and she'll like you.
Right. The wingman. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, very true, very true. But yeah, I didn't think there was too much. I mean, for me, too many heavy-handed things. As far as that was concerned, even like the yoga thing. I'm like, I said that in my review too. Like I do yoga, but like I guarantee there's probably plenty of women out there better than me at that. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't really see any cause for alarm. I mean, if anything, to me in this episode, the one thing that I kind of find is like is is the Captain America stuff. Captain America jokes.
Okay, yeah, he's supposed to be pure, and we're over here saying he didn't wait for marriage. Come on now.
Right. Well, and that was kind of the thing, like one of the questions you asked on your 33 burning questions that we just did is about the protection. Did he have protection? And my kind of thing is like, I kind of feel like he's the kind of Boy Scout guy that if he was like, I don't feel like he's just gonna go out there and have sex all willy nilly with somebody, even to the point where he'd be like, hey, I'm gonna use a condom. I think he'd probably be selective. I think he'd be selective and stuff like that, and yeah.
It was spontaneous the way that it just came up on him. It was just during the the tour, all these pretty women and stuff. He didn't plan it, so maybe he wasn't carrying it with him at the most. But I want to say that he was wearing protection. I'm actually kind of mad that they're confirming the scene. Come on, man, you couldn't wait for Peggy. This is no way.
Right. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I just think that like the whole thing digging into that, they're going into that. I'm like kind of like, for me, like I don't find it funny or anything. But the other thing is like I don't really care either. I think they put stuff like that in there, obviously, to get people talking about it, wondering about that stuff. And I mean, the other thing is like it's a show, just like kind of supposed to be funny and have humor. I don't find the humor in it, but I'm sure somebody does. I'm sure, I don't even find it as something offensive. It's just like, whatever. I don't know.
The funny part for me was when the Hulk pushed off She-Hulk because she was showing off with her powers, and she's running off, falling off the cliff. I'm like, oh yeah, that's funny. It reminds me of something that happened in Avengers, and it's also just like, a cool, funny thing. Just like I laughed the first time it happened. So there was good humor in here, sparingly, because
Right.
Marvel, man, their percentage of funny jokes, it's gone down. It used to be a high like 80%, but now I don't think so. Like, get the Russo brothers up in here because they did great at making me laugh. Why was she up there all this time? Like, the Russo brothers know how to do comedy. Who's Gamora? Where's Gamora? Why is Gamora? What? That's amazing.
Definitely. Yeah, and I'll definitely attribute a lot of that to Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, the guys who were the writers for them. But obviously, they're still kind of at the behest of the directors as well. So, I mean, there's still some credit there. But yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things is kind of, how to properly handle characters or do things like that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't really see too much problems with anything going on in those aspects. I just think it's like silly talking about Steve Rogers' virginity and like, who really cares? I don't know. I don't know.
It did its job, though. It became a topic here for 3 minutes of the She-Hulk Second Street Marvel review, right? So
absolutely. And I think it's just because, like, you see other people out there talking about this stuff. They're upset, like, why are they making a joke of Steve Rogers and blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't know that they're necessarily making a joke. I mean, they're certainly not like they're just being silly about it, where she's just curious for whatever reason. I don't know.
Bro, making Tony Stark drink was a big deal, man. They had chocolate milk up in the end game. Remember when they visited Tony at his home and he was drinking chocolate milk because, the alcohol stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you telling me that within the 5 years of the blip, why are you telling me that he was drinking alcohol with the Hulk? I don't want to hear that. I want to know that this man had better days. He really settled down, became a full-time father. But you're telling me that he spent all of this time, a lot of it in Mexico, building, but then also, every night drinking. Man, shoot, I don't like that.
Yeah, it definitely does kind of like. And the funny thing is, I didn't even really think about that until we were on your stream and talking about that. I'm like, yeah, what was he doing there then?
Carving his initials.
Yeah.
I think we agreed on my stream that the TS was carved by Tony. The banner was carved by Bruce.
Maybe so. I still like my version better, where they did it so gently, holding hands.
Yeah.
But and what did you think? I mean, because in this first episode, we didn't really have an antagonist or anything. No like bad guys or anything until the very end. We see Titania kind of jumps into the courtroom and for no reason, we don't really know what's going on. And
Which
I guess
doesn't mean we're not gonna learn.
Right, which I guess is kind of the mystery to get you into what's going to be happening in episode 2, or anything after that. And
Titania was not impressive to me. No,
not
you
at
were not
all.
done. Yeah.
No, yeah, I was gonna say that. I don't think she was at all. I mean, she just kind of burst through like the Kool-Aid Man, looking like the ultimate warrior, and I don't know. I don't know. Like I said,
Wow.
I think a lot of the things that happen in this episode or don't happen or anything just kind of just kind of added up to being just a lackluster premiere for the series overall. But I don't think it was terrible, and especially as bad as some of the people out there are saying when it comes to the show altogether.
I think we'd be better off if we didn't know about the Sakaar ship coming, because I saw that clip on Twitter, which I hadn't. I was trying to avoid a lot, but I saw it the day before the show came out. Okay, the Sakaar ship makes me think of World War Hulk, which is a nice story that we could have adapted. Unfortunately, the whole Planet Hulk stuff was taken care of in Thor Ragnarok, so it looked like World War Hulk was out of the question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stutter on World War Hulk every time I say it. With now though, this has the possibility that it'll take him back up to that planet. He'll deal with something, make him really angry, and then a World War Hulk story can be possible again. And that the theory juices are flowing. WandaVision taught me though, not to get too excited with these theories, but the theory juices are flowing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think that's a big one too, because like there's a lot of the theories out there that obviously with World War Hulk, kind of, I don't know, has that really been officially announced or anything? Did they?
Nah.
I don't think they did. It just seems like a lot of stuff is leading to it, and maybe that was in some leaks or something. But yeah, I mean, there's that. Obviously, he would have to get angry again, and then there's obviously the talks of maybe it has to do with maybe his son Scar is out there. I mean. Were they just there to collect some child support? That's what I want to
know. Yeah, no, yes, that would be it. They'd be like, yo, we could find you because we have your son's DNA, and so we just put it in our DNA device and we found you. That's how we know exactly where you were on Earth. Man, this is so good. Yep. Mm-hmm. And She-Hulk is just about someone else with the gamma powers, so he'll be like, oh well, Jen learned really quickly. Let me go to my son in Sakaar. What's the son's name again?
Scar. Yeah.
Yeah, let me go to my son. Oh my god, he's just like her. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the guy who can't handle Hulk and Gamma. Yeah, there's some story to be told here. I like it.
Right. And speaking of which, that kind of reminded me too. Speaking about being able to handle the Gamma and their family gift. It made me think. It brought me back to thinking about Ms. Marvel and how. One of the things I keep saying is in the MCU, they actually have to tell us stuff. And in Ms. Marvel, they said about, she's got a genetic mutation, not an X gene, but anyway, she's got that. And then they play the music. They didn't say that she was a mutant or anything, but then they kind of say this in She-Hulk, like, we got something in our genes that helps us synthesize the gamma radiation or whatever. It's like, okay, so are they mutants too now? I mean, we didn't hear the music. We didn't hear little music, but
I like how we can just laugh at it.
Yeah, because to me, I think just adding the music in there is just kind of just adding to speculation. Like, they did that. Like, yeah, but they didn't say it. Like, I just feel so much like they've got to say. They've got to tell us. They've got to tell us. But I know there was something else I wanted to bring up. Oh, yes. The review bombing of this show. Have you heard about this?
Like Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't know. I guess apparently before the show even aired, there was some stories going around. I think I seen, was it maybe Discussing Film or somebody that shared an article, or maybe they wrote it about the show being review bombed ahead of time. And mostly by 30-year-old white males.
How would you know who and what the person reviewing is? It's not like we ever fill in those when we make our accounts. Like, are you white male? Are you female? They don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just something I seen. They had these little charts everybody's showing and breaking it on down. And I guess because the reason I'm asking you is I always hear about this thing with people talk about review bombing these shows and all of this and that. And for one, I mean, do I doubt it goes on that people are going out there and fake reviewing the movie and all that? I'm sure it goes on. I mean, I think there's plenty of proof of that. But I also look at when it comes to a lot of these things, it seems like so much times these days, everybody rates everything as a 1 or a 10 anyway.
Yeah.
So how am I really supposed to look at any of that and take any of that seriously? Because for me, I feel like when I see scores that are 1s or 10s, I'm like, you know what? I honestly, I just can't take that seriously. Because for me, 1s and 10s are rare. I would even say like a 9 is pretty rare, but less so than 10.
Yeah, well, we know, and where anything we've ever shopped on in Amazon, I think they have 5 stars. And you know, like anyone doing 1 star or anyone doing 5 stars, like, all right, sure. You're really just there to see how many get into the 4-star, 3-star, 2-star range. Totally. I remember during the Ms. Marvel IMDb period, me and Ashley did a video together, me and the Widow, and we. No, this wasn't with her. This was a second video. But either way, I did look at other shows to see how many votes they got. For some reason, Ms. Marvel got a lot of votes for the 1 number, which is like unrealistic, and that's totally review bombs. But I went to the show Hawkeye, which was right prior to it, and no, it didn't get 1s. It still got a little bit extra 1s than it did have 2s, but the bar graph was crazy for Ms. Marvel opposed to Hawkeye, and that's what review bombing looks like to me. When when the 1s really go all out, then like, okay, totally review bomb. This show was not a 1. This wasn't a 2. This wasn't a 3. If you want to argue with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'll respect those. And I mean, what am I gonna say that we don't already know? Things get review bombed.
Yeah.
There is a contingency of people in the world, whether they're male or females themselves, but they are against any sort of female empowerment. They're so insecure that they feel like a spot is being taken from them by this group of people. And I'm talking about male, female right now, not anything else. And they exist, and there they are review bombing. All right, that's how many there are. All right, cool. What do you like? All you're doing is proving the need for female representation, and when proving the oppressors who were depicted in the movie, the jerks that were there who thought like women had their place. There's folks like that who exist here, and they are all 1-star reviewed. You know, it'd be interesting if Marvel themselves 1-star reviewed just to get the conversation going. Wouldn't that be? That's a theory.
They got their own bots out there, huh?
They needed to become victims, so they botted it, just like they bought the Captain Marvel tickets.
Oh dang! Now we're really getting into some conspiracy theory type of stuff here.
Territory.
Yeah, dang. And yeah, I always think that's silly too. I remember when that was going on too during for the Captain Marvel movie. They're talking about Disney's out there buying seats. And I'm like, that sounds a little ridiculous, but sure, man, go with
100% true. 100% true. You know what else is true? The Republican Party, the good old GOP, they're behind Top Gun Maverick's success, guys.
Oh no!
Alex Jones told me.
Yes, very well could be. Although that one I want to argue because Top Gun was just a damn good movie. It was good.
Nice.
It was a good movie.
It was woke too. I heard they wouldn't even portray the villains of the movie because they didn't want to make any other country look bad, which is like a commendable, you know what I mean, culturally sensitive thing to do, politically correct thing to do.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, they had, that's the thing, they had plenty of representation and all that stuff there. I mean, yeah. I don't know. It was just a damn good movie. I just don't think we get very many movies like that anymore where they're kind of made in the more old school, kind of traditional Hollywood way. Something like you would get from the 80s or 90s, because that's how that movie really felt. And, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, because it brings me up to, you know, I mean, it makes me think of something else with regards to even like the MCU and some of that stuff. You know, we're talking about writers and things like that, directors, actors here in these films and stuff. And one of the things for me, I've said for the longest time is like Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. These are my guys. These are my writers, you know, for the MCU. I want more of them. I want them to come back. And I've got a video that I'm going to be dropping here pretty soon where I talk exactly about that. In the sense that as much as I want that, and I think it would be great, I think there's also a point where it's just time to move on. Not only for them as writers, but even for us as the audience, and realizing like they need to get new talent in, writing these movies, directing these movies. Just because like these same guys can't write every single movie. The same
I'm
people
saying,
can't
nah.
direct every movie.
The last thing they wrote was a 2019 film. The next thing they'll write is Avengers: Secret Wars, allegedly. We'll find out at D23. Okay, but from 2019 all the way to year 2024, that is 5 years, which they could have been writing something else in between. You couldn't give them the pen to the Loki show. They started this time travel mess with Endgame. They could have been the ones to explain it, not Michael Waldron. Okay.
Yeah, believe me, you're not gonna get any disagreements with me from me with regards to replacing Michael Waldron with the with Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely at all. No arguments. No arguments. I feel like you said that to get this reaction out of me.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, I know you, Trinity.
Yeah, but I do think
I'm a Marcus and McFeely guy. As you know, like they're the people who should be like hiring and interviewing for the new screenwriters just to make sure that they think the same way they do.
Right, and I think the thing is like they could do that thing like you're saying, even just be there kind of like just kind of in the idea factory, saying, oh, this works, this don't, this is like helping work navigate through some of that stuff, certainly, because I do think they've kind of proven that for me, I always call it, I feel like they have the love for these characters and the appreciation for the stories that they're adapting from the comic books. And I feel like Malcolm Spellman actually kind of did that with Falcon and Winter Soldier too, as much as it was kind of slopped together and kind of some of the stuff that happened in the production of that through the pandemic. But I just don't feel that with all of the shows and all of that's come so far, is having that same kind of appreciation for the characters and the stories that came before that they're adapting. I think
Malcolm
Hawkeye felt that way
Spellman,
too.
who wrote Hawkeye?
I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure who wrote Hawkeye. I have to look into that.
Well, and we would know it if we really liked it, though.
Mhm.
It wasn't the whole arrow soup thing that they did to Kingpin was like, ugh, crappy writing.
Right.
Well, the entire episode 6, where there was just a whole bunch of bros stepping into the ice rink, and they all had guns, except they wouldn't shoot.
Right.
Like they wouldn't shoot because the magnets took the first batch of guns in the ice rink. The second batch of people coming out of their cars, I'm like, okay, well, surely you have weapons. You're thugs, and you just didn't. It was bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. I'm willing to give this, obviously I'm going to give this show, a watch, see episode 2 and finish out the season of this. I didn't think it was too bad. I mean, I think it could have been a lot better. I think for me, I rank it about a 6. Could have been better. Could have been worse. Nothing to, I don't know, nothing to turn me off. Nothing to really kind of turn me on. But just, I guess, waiting to see where it goes in episode 2 and beyond.
I will rank it a number 7. Question: did Mike Porter say what he gave it?
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a 10.
I was waiting at the edge of my seats for that one. Yes.
But anyway, that's all I've got. Do you have any final thoughts or anything about the show before we go?
The clapping thing that she did, that was interesting. She kind of picked up on it a little bit, but she got to it. I wish she wasn't able to do it in the first episode. If we could build to the power to do that, where she's got to be really angry, and then she does it. That would be interesting.
Yeah, and to me, I was kind of thinking the same thing, but then you kind of see where she kind of had to keep doing it to make a wave, which I thought was interesting, because it kind of reminded me of the Sonic wave that, like from the things that Thaddeus Ross had that they had in the movie. Kind of reminded me of that. So
that's a good callback. It's right.
Yeah. That's kind of what it reminded me of. But yeah, like I said, that's all I've got. Do you have anything coming up on your channel that you'd like to plug before we go?
Now, I do the 33 burning MCU questions each Saturday. Look out for that. And I'll have other videos talking about recasting T'Challa, talking about skin color and why we shouldn't celebrate Giancarlo Esposito if he gets casted as Professor X, because in no way, shape, or form does that elevate a black existing character. In fact, it just takes up a spot because there are limited spots of how many dark-skinned folks we can get in these movies, and that is detrimental to the advancement or to the normalization or the diversity efforts, I should say. It is bad, and that's the kind of type of videos I'll be doing on my channel, Chillmonger. You know me. Subscribe. Thank you.
All right. Yes, looking forward to seeing that video. And yeah, guys, make sure you go subscribe to Chillmonger. His links will be down in the description of this video. Follow him on Twitter. Do all of those good things. Go join. You can even join his Discord. Some very good stuff there. But thank you all so much for being here today. And if you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed here, because we will have Chillmonger here on the guest, as always, talking about these Disney Plus shows in the MCU. You all have a very good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.
I thought it was great representation as the first woman of color in Marvel.
All right. And
oh my God, that went right over your head.
Oh,
she's a woman of color in Marvel because she turns green. I get it. All right. You didn't get it. You were just like ready to ask that first question. He was looking at his notes like, let's get down to business.
I was actually looking at my stream deck and making sure that my scene switched here on the Streamlabs, because sometimes it acts janky.